Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever it happens to be in your neck of the woods. This is Jeffrey Lant speaking to you from Cambridge, Massachusetts, for our daily program, Anything Goes, which takes place each day in the space at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Anything Goes is a program dedicated to your success on the internet in all ways. We cover all sorts of topics in this. So if you think you've heard it today, well, it will be different tomorrow and very different the day after that. We are the longest running live program on the internet. I think we stayed in this running because we don't, anything goes, as our name implies. If you stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. The discussions are often raucous, for food fights about some given topic or other. They can be somber, they can be very humorous. They're always factual, and they're all about things that work, which will help you make money on the net. I want to tell you a little bit about Worldprofit in the program. Worldprofit, the sponsor, is www.worldprofit.com, worldprofit.com. We've been succeeding on the internet now for well over 20 years. We're one of the oldest companies on the internet. Our headquarters is in Canada. We are a Canadian corporation. We exist in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. And for those who are a little map challenged, that's in Western Canada. Quite as far as the Pacific goes, but nearer about we are here at the Atlantic. I was speaking to you from the U.S. office, which is in Cambridge, Massachusetts, right in the middle of Harvard Square, for those of you who know where Harvard University is. We have a supremely well-placed building. Cambridge is the capital city of the Internet. Every major Internet company has offices in Cambridge, and the reason for that started out to be Harvard on the one side, Massachusetts Institute of Technology on the other. So it's the Mass-Harvard Alliance, which is thriving, and it made Cambridge a boom town. If you ever know boom town, we're it. Now, Vijay, and so I'm going to say Vijay, this program is dedicated to everyone who comes, including you. But what you need to do is one of two things. You need to click the green box and watch the video, or you need to just sit back, relax, and listen to what I have to say. Now, serotonin is part of the reason we have this program. So, and by the way, our discussions are very candid, as I think I've told you. This is no different here. BJ has been here 2 times and not taken action. Cyril has been here 108 times and not taken action. So the very first thing we're going to talk about is what's wrong with Cyril. Cyril, try to hail you here. Cyril, see, are you there and do you hear me? We're going to give him a second to respond. Cyril Tanusi, 100 and he left. Well, this happens to us all day long. People in and out, in and out, in and out. It's like Grand Central Station in New York. We don't understand people like Cyril Tanusi. He doesn't say anything. He pops in, pops out, oftentimes within 30 seconds or less. And he achieves absolutely nothing. I hope that isn't your case. And for the about almost 100 people looking in the window right now, I hope that isn't your case either. What we're going to do is go take it very slow today. We're a partner, but I know today. And we're going to try to help, if we can help even one person start making the internet, that would be good. Now, for those of you that are watching this program live, you're seeing it now. It's being recorded, and it will run on the YouTube network, and we'll get specifics of that at the end of the program. We recorded this program regularly, so there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of episodes that are filmed, and you find easily in YouTube, and we'll get a bit of pictures on that at the end of the program. And I think my lucky day may have appeared. George Kosch is here with us. He is the Chief Technical Officer of this company, co-founder, and he is a living legend on the internet for having invented so many pieces of technology, including what you're seeing right now. Good afternoon, George.
Hey, good afternoon, Dr. Lant. Yeah, I'm working on the screen, but I thought since you said nobody else is coming up, I'd zip up here and help you out. as long as you don't mind some updates to the member area, I'm basically saying that if people are not subscribed to the associate newsletter, meaning, free associates, and they unsubscribe, they use any of our services. So I'm giving them a nice pop-up box that says, hey, if you want to use our classified ad sites or Solo Blaster or anything, we've noticed that you've unsubscribed. No problem. All they have to do is click a button, just one little push, and it takes less than a millisecond, and then they can use this again as long as they don't unsubscribe, because I think it's only right that if people subscribe, they get these, and if they don't subscribe, well, then they don't get anything.
Good to me. Sounds logical.
Of course.
I'm trying to impart something to the know that. Let's take Dennis Kogan as an illustration. I talk in terms of specifics. VJ has been here twice. Dennis Kogan has been here 5 times. And Dennis, you are very fortunate in being able to speak to George Kosch, our technical officer and co-founder today. Dennis, what I want to know, and what George wants probably to know, and he'll ask the question, is why is it taking you so long to get this? What do you not see that you think you should see? What's the obstacle? Why haven't you joined us? And I want to make sure the audience understands, as we do, anyone who follows the steps that George lays out and will generate people who will come in here this live webinar, and the leads will be closed by experienced closers called monitors. You don't even have to close your own leads here. We do that for you. Dennis, given that fact, and they've told me that you've watched the video, why haven't you joined us yet? And VJ, I'd appreciate an answer to that too. This is an interactive program. This is anything goes. This is not your typical, we lecture at you and you take a few notes. Oh no, it's highly interactive. And we want to know why you haven't joined us. Dennis Kogan and VJ. We'll give them a bit of time to respond. And isn't this typical, George? They come here to learn and earn, supposedly, and we open it up, and we want to find out how we can be of assistance, and nothing comes back.
Well, the ones that do talk to us always get their questions answered, and they get what we advertise we have. And I'm in here all day. This is no exception, except for me being on the camera, and it's so absolutely typical. There's people that come in constantly. They're going into all the different areas which we scan. We know where they're going and everything, and I think they want to find the way to do it without doing anything, without paying any money. And they don't understand that they'll just bounce from one thing to another until they settle into a training program that works from 2 decades of experience online. They just I think they have a lot of trouble understanding. It's overwhelming to come into the place that has the answers, and unfortunately they're not ready for those particular answers. But they'll have to come around. We had a gentleman today who re-signed up as a silver member after, I think, maybe a year. And he came in. You can even, if you go to worldprofit.com, you can see the welcome letters. And he was a previous member. And we're getting that all the time. People keep coming back and coming back and coming back from years past. And they always say the same thing. You guys are the real deal. You actually tell it like it is. You don't have any, annoying pop-ups saying, well, you paid $99, now you got to pay more and more and more. And, we have leads. We have leads that are coming in constantly now that I upload to the system, and people can bring those into their prospect manager and tag them for anything they want. They can sign them up into their network marketing company, or they can sign them up into whatever program they're in, or they can even work those leads for this program.
Absolutely true. And again, I'm just monitoring the situation over there. Dennis Kogut came and left, didn't say anything. Now, there are 90 people looking right now. You see us, and you see that we're real, and you hear what we say. I'm going to invite every one of you to come in by filling out the form in front of you. And I'm going to give you a free copy of my 19th book. It's a best-selling book over at Amazon.com where you can buy it for $29.95. I'll give each of you a free copy just for coming in here, watching the video. That's going to be the catch. I want you to come in, watch the video, and when you're finished with the video, I'm going to present you with this book. It's called Net Profits. And it is a diamond hard look at exactly what you have to do to make money on the net. This is a challenge. 90 people up there looking at it, you know you want to make money. I've got the book here. I've got the video here for you. It's all set up. All you have to do is say, they come in and say hello, and that's it. That's the requirement. George, it doesn't get any much easier than just hello.
Yeah, I agree. We've been communicating with these people through this system for close to 10 years now, and we've seen it all before. But eventually, people start to think they get to a point where they spend so much money on other programs, and they finally realize that the whole game here is you have to generate leads. And that doesn't matter what program you're in. You could be in any program on earth. If you don't have leads and you don't have a system to generate them, you will never make a nickel. And that's special. And that's why we're a training company, and we apply to all other business ops out there. And they get it eventually because they buy this thing and they buy that thing, and then they turn around and say, well, now that I bought it, what do I do? And the company says, well, catch you later. We're not a training company. We sell products. And the best that I've seen is companies will say, well, just go and put an ad in a traffic exchange or post some stuff to a forum or rank a YouTube high, or find a niche and put it there. That's to me, that's not how it's done at all. That's just kind of pushing people away. And the way to do it, to have ongoing, continuous training with access to people constantly. I mean, that's how universities and high schools and public schools work. I mean, there's a teacher there all the time to help get you going, and that's what we have.
Let's try and bring Diana Lopez into the conversation. Good afternoon, Diana Lopez. This is your first visit to the live business center at Worldprofit. And what we want you to do is to say hello to us now, and we're going to direct you to a video. I'm going to put the specifics for Diana on the screen to make it very easy to draw. Situations to work fine. Diana, there are your instructions there on the screen. Diana, we want you to say hello. And that's it for openers. Let's see if you can say hello. Now, João Fernandez, you've been here so many times. It says 6, but in reality, I know you from a long time back. It's probably 6 times by now. João Fernandez, will you say hello or anything thereof? And Diana Lopez, we're still trying to make contact with you. Following Diana Lopez and João Fernandez. The first name is Spanish, the second is Portuguese. And I'm going to call Martin Egg. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Martin Egg. Are you there, Martin? And I'm going to just really try to reinforce a point with him if I get Martin to speak up. And Renita Francis, are you there? I'm calling people here. This is what I do all day. Diana, João, Renita. All right, now Renita, I'm glad you're good, but I'm going to make you better. Renita, how are your promotions coming along? Because the more people that you reach through the promotions by following the directions of the boot camp, the more people the monitor have to close you. You're doing your daily promoting. It's amazing. My questions have this overpowering paralytic influence. People hear them and they are paralyzed. Now, Diana Lopez, we don't want to remove you, but you need to say that you are here and that you hear us. So, Renee, this is the goal. The goal is to promote strenuously by following the directions of the boot camp, so that you direct people in here to the live business sessions. Letters can close them. And if you see a monitor up here who's not that person, they're not, the members are not generating enough leads right that minute, because we're here 24/7, 365, which means we close leads 24/7, 365. Are you aware of that? And here is Cyril Tanusi comes back. Every time we try to establish contact with Cyril, he disappears and then comes back at a later time. Cyril Tanusi, you are now gone again. Goes so fast you can't even say his name. Francis, Francis, are you there?
Light here. Oh.
I gave you a free copy of my book the other day. Did you have a chance to read it? Net Profits. So you get the point. The constant fingers typed to a computer keyboard is the key. You just keep doing it. It's not difficult. It doesn't demand a concentrated effort. And in that particular, I'd like to tell you a little story about Christopher Columbus. And first of all, to our Canadian friends, our Canadian Corporation, happy Canadian Thanksgiving, Bridge. I hope that you're getting a nice dinner today.
Thank you. Thank you.
The Canadians get two Thanksgivings. They very cleverly do. We call this day Columbus Day, and I want to talk a little bit about, entrepreneurialism in the 15th century. Today is the day when Christopher Columbus reached the New World in 1492 in the island of Bermuda. This is the day he landed. And all the problems began of European civilization and the New World. I want to just take a moment during this program, because I want to have it recorded, to tell you a bit about how it happened. And you think you have problems as an entrepreneur, listen to this story. Christopher Columbus, you're all going to be surprised at this, had no money. He didn't have a ducat in his pocket. He didn't have any credit either. He gone through all of his friends and relations, and they didn't like him. He said, "Go away, Chris." They said, "Go away, go." His home was parapet. He didn't exactly live anywhere. And so finally, he began to read maps. Here's a kind of map reader. George reads celestial maps through his telescope. Where Columbus sat his maps. And he met all the map makers of Italy, where he was from. And there were gaps, huge gaps, in the maps. And the map makers developed a way of dealing with that. They used the phrase, "Here be dragon." And they colored in some dragons, or whatever they were, sea monsters, which meant that they didn't know what was over there. And they just plugged that into the map. Well, Christopher Columbus thought there must be something there, but nobody knows what it is. So he began doing his research. That's right. He didn't give it up. I said he didn't have any money, wasn't shooting. He wanted to make sure that he had the best information. Translate that into real profit terms. You'll understand how that works. He wanted to make sure he had the best information in the world. And finally, he had quite a portfolio of stuff that he picked up. It was mostly hearsay. He did discover that no one had actually seen any dragons, which was a relief to him. He didn't want to be eaten by a dragon. He was clear on that objective anyway. So he made his way to Spain, which was a newly united. It used to be two parts. the Kingdom of Leon, the Kingdom was Granada. And the king and queen of these two nations had allied by marrying. And the Queen Isabella of Spain was the most frugal woman of her age. She was a tough tiger, and she knew the value of money, and she knew how to work a deal. She was the deal maker, not the husband, which was usual. And so Christopher Columbus looked at, and he tried to network his way to the royal family, and he just couldn't do it. Nobody was helping him. And finally, he caught a break. And he went in, and he influenced the Queen to, at least to dream about what he was saying. Think about it. What if Spain got all they found? With a little commission for himself, of course. And she said, no, well, I'll basically take about 95% of it, and I'll give you a few crumbs, and I'll make you a nobleman, too. It doesn't cost anything to push it from a dead duke. You just write them on a piece of paper. You are a duke. That's it. It cost you whatever the pencil cost. The Queen was a very hard dealer. She knew how to deal. And she had been paying attention to the There Be Dragon stories. And she was willing to scrounge up some ships, give them credit for some leaky old vessels. And you wouldn't want to get out on one of those ships in a harbor, much less across to where there might be dragon. So you would give Christopher Columbus credit, but we also have to give the sponsor credit. Queen Isabella was his sponsor in our terms. And she said, you get out there and you make the money and find the country, and I'll give you 5% or 10%, whatever they finally agreed. And he thought, well, that's not a great deal, but it's the only deal I've got going, so everybody else is throwing me out in the street. This is the only one who will talk to me. And so he cut a deal. And, of course, he had the lowest level employees. I mean, these were cutthroats, pirates, rejects, prisoners who escaped. This was the crew of we all know the names of the three ships, don't we? Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Every U.S. child knows, right? The problem was, right off the bat, he had a big deal. He had a problem. The sailors wanted to drink and whore and do whatever sailors do. And he wanted to go and see what there was, see what he was going to get. I mean, remember, the Queen had him on a short leash. And the sailors rebelled. Right off the bat, there was a rebellion. George is in the military, and he would tell you what would happen if there was an insurrection in the barracks or something. But these cats, there were more of them than poor Chris. Chris was pretty much alone, and he must have had a silver tongue. The farther that he went, the more the sailors rebelled, and they got very surly. And, when you're sleeping at night, who would we get? They could just throw them overboard. Sailors know what time the strike is. But Christopher Columbus must have had an incredible gift gab because number one, he got sailors to keep him forward. They didn't want to do that. They wanted back to cover in Spain. And they didn't trust Chris. Of course, he, like many entrepreneurs, had the gift of the gab to keep them interested. I mean, you couldn't kill them off. You had to persuade them. Persuasion is part of marketing. Part of persuasion is part of it. He was a marketer. He was one of the great marketers. But then so was the Queen of Spain. Queen Isabella was a world-class marketer. You know what he did? Every day he did what was necessary. Move the ship ahead. In our term proper, that ship is the program. Is doing daily promotions. Well, Chris had to keep promoting America. He had to go, just over the next wave. I know, just over. He didn't know what that wave. Nobody knew. But he knew how to say it. So people believed it. Every day he'd get up and he'd figure out, and he'd be sitting down there in the captain's quarters with his very primitive implements, which were not even the best of their day because he had no money. But he had this unquenchable belief that he was going to work out and he was going to work hard to make it happen. And he also had the unquenchable belief that he'd be able for sailors to not kill him and throw him overboard. That would have been a big plus. He managed to get this to where it was going. And George, every day, he didn't get up and say, let's go home. I've done enough. Other programs have, other people didn't help me, and I'm scared. Listen, anybody on that ship, the Santa Maria, which was the biggest one, small, you need to have rowboats. Imagine crossing the Atlantic not knowing where you're going, not knowing if you're going to go anywhere at all. Confronting the Atlantic was no pick. But he didn't go home. He kept up, and he didn't take a day off because he didn't feel like it. I can imagine that Christopher Columbus, because the Atlantic can be treacherous, especially at this time of the year. Cruise ships don't leave the port to go into the Atlantic after some time in September, because the Atlantic is so treacherous. He didn't know that. So he was probably ill most of the time. Nothing worse than being seasick. Your head is in a bucket or over the ship times a day. He could have so easily said, let's go home. He would have been the laughingstock of Europe, or at least would be alive. And so today, and finally then, of course, on this day in 1492, he hit the island of Bermuda, which is a pretty good deal because Bermuda is a beautiful place. And he got down on his knees, and thank God, because of course he had the benefits of into the New World. So here are the lessons for us of Christopher Columbus, who on this day startled the world. First, have a dream. If you didn't have a dream, why would you do any of this at all? I see, George, people who come in here every day who don't have any dream at all. They're miserable. They've taken advantage of. They've been scammed. They're belligerent. They're upset. Number one, don't kill the messenger. Don't blame us for all those things that happened before. That you got to get rid of that. And was that Christopher Columbus, he was a pauper. He'd run through all his family and friends. Does this sound familiar? Trying to get them to cough up. He was kicked. First, he was abused by the King of Spain. They didn't want him around. He was a nuisance. He was asking because he wanted something. And finally, he persisted. Things I see here in the Worldprofit Live Business Center are people who don't persist. They want it now. I've got news for you. You're not going to get it all now. If Christopher Columbus had to take months, and by the way, he took this to build up, leave Spain, and little ships, took a long time. It wasn't something they just want, hey, Queen, hey, I see a couple of rowboats in the harbor, can I have them? It wasn't that way at all. First, she had to investigate him, and then she would investigate the investigators and find out whether they were lying to her. And then she wanted to look at him without him seeing her. No. It wasn't easy. But he had what none of you lack: persistence. He was determined that whatever there was there, and even though the deal he had to cut with the Queen wasn't the best, it was the best deal he would get. She gave him the littlest amount that she could get away with. She had him out in the boats because she wasn't going to leave the throne and go to the New World. That wasn't in the cards, but she had to find someone to do it, and she wanted to pay him nothing. Which is the way most employees think. Give me everything, and I'll give you a crumb, and you'll have to be happy because you can't get a job anywhere else. Well, that was her deal with Chris Columbus. But he was a tough critter. He wouldn't give up. And we see here in the Live Business Center people giving up mentally before they even come in the door. And they come to us and say, I'm dead, revive. I've through all my friends and relations, and I want you all to know that's not how you do it. If at first you succeed, you're about average. And if you look at Christopher Columbus, this guy was anything less. First, he was a wheedler. He kept at it. He must have been insufferable. You probably see him coming down the street. You say, oh my God, Chris Columbus is coming down the street. lock up, pull down the drapes. We don't want to speak to that creature. He's always asking something. Next, he learned to think a day at a time when necessary. And Cyril Tanusi, this is for you. This message is for you. You're 10 times, and Cyril, you never live up to anything. So I want you to sit back and listen to me for a change. He did it. He just persisted. And if you look at the careers of virtually everyone in this room, I know most of you, one way or another, you did a little bit of this, and you stopped. And you did a little of that, and you stopped. And you changed directions over here, and then you changed it back again. Christopher Columbus couldn't do that. He had his so many miles a day to get to it. His only time was water, and he only had so much food. And he was running low. If he wasted some time, if he sat there taking a holiday, he'd all be dead. Now, or at least they'd have scurvy, which is, you know what that is? That's because you don't eat enough fresh fruits and vegetables. And he couldn't get a fresh, tomato on the cruise ship. He weren't. So George, he had every attribute of an entrepreneur. He was determined to succeed. He did his homework as best you could in the fallible records. He did not take no for an answer. He didn't blame other people, although God knows in his life there was a lot of people to blame. He faced up to every challenge. He did his homework. He learned to work with people. Because otherwise, other people were going to throw him overboard in the night. You can imagine, George, what they would have done with an unpopular captain who wasn't giving them evening. What? Whoops! Oh, Chris has slipped into the drink, and that's the end of it. And when he got to America, he got to thank her. One of the things we know about entrepreneurs is they don't think it all themselves. They thank the people who helped them. People. And as a result of what he did, the New World began by being overwhelmingly Spanish. That was something new and different with this little country, called Iberia, Lusitania. Took over a sixth of the world in a few years. They went from nothing to a sixth of the world. George, that's amazing. A sixth of the known universe. So today, I know there are a lot of controversies about for Columbus. Did he write in the right order? But what he didn't have time, he went to make sure his ship didn't founder in the Atlantic, and that he got to where he was going. He was alive, and that was a big plus too. So today we celebrate Columbus Day, but I like to think of Chris as one of our first entrepreneurs. He was, and first means risk taker. And if you don't think getting on the deck of that little Santa Maria ship didn't take a lot of guts, I don't know what you think guts would be. But I admire him, always have, love the story of an incredible success, going to not participating and making sure that Spain got it. One of the globals. And so we have Canadian things to be grateful for, and we want to celebrate that. But we also want to celebrate Chris Columbus and all the other explorers who brought culture to the New World. And it wasn't pure, it wasn't easy, and everybody didn't agree. It's not in the human condition that all people agree all the time. What we're going to do during the remainder of this program today is we're going to help what we do every day. So I'm very fortunate to have George up here. And this must be my Thanksgiving Day, too. I got 2 Thanksgiving days also. We're going to talk to Diane Lopez. We're just in Pete's room right now. We're going to talk to all of them. And again, when you're sitting back today, you're sitting at your computer in your comfortable house, Canadian, you've had a comfortable meal, you complain, well, then you're not an entrepreneur. You can think these things at all times. We have to be upbeat, problem solvers, Just get on with the job at hand, the best you can with what you've got where you are, and thank the higher power. When you get to where your destination is, and you can imagine, or at least I try to imagine, what it would be for Columbus to walk on with a ship into a dry land, beautiful land too, Bermuda, and be grateful to God for having helped him. So George, we've got Paul that's come back, and Paul would like to speak to you. And that's my fault for this. Diana Lopez, we don't want to lose you, but absolutely nothing. She doesn't speak.
That was all well said. That was really a good story. Puts everything into perspective of, well, in flow with the internet. We don't know what's going on. What we're working on now is just trying to figure out a way to connect with people who are on mobile devices. They can't see the LBC. As you know, many years ago, mobile devices such as iPads and Galaxy tabs and Kindles and things like that, which can look at the internet, they don't see Flash. They don't see the Live Business Center because it's made in Flash. So I have a scanner running right now, and I know where everybody is, and I know what type of system they're looking at us with. And I have put code in place of, see here, this little box called Live Business Center. And if somebody is on a mobile device, tell them, hey, you're on a mobile device. You can't see our Live Business Center. However, here's your name sponsor. Here's his or her phone number. Here's her contact information. Anything that we can give them to communicate with the sponsor is there. And there is a link to the video, so they can at least watch the video and get an idea of what's going on. And we also send them an email saying that get to a, if you go to a normal computer, you can see and chat to us and everything. And we're working on a way to possibly broadcast to them using maybe updates to technology and things like that. So that's what we're doing now. And I know where everyone is right now. For example, Cyril has just logged in, and we have a person named Brett, who I'm sure he's using the Solar right now. He's an associate. We had Paul. Paul came in. He's looking at the dealer bonuses right now. In other words, he wants to know, why should I be a dealer? So he's looking over at the free program. In other words, that's what dealer bonuses are. We show them off. So he's in there looking right now. Who else is in here? We have Gene, who is kind of looking around. I think he's just at the guaranteed visitors with another. They're checking on their 50,000 visitor account. They have to log in every 3 days or the account goes off. And we have another person right now in the bag. So they're here. There are associates, and those are just a few. I'm not going to go through the whole list because there's 49 of them in here right now, and they're picking around everywhere. They're picking for things. So, the other way to trace them, know what doing, is who's logged in up on that top menu that way, and that's for the silvers and VIPs, platinum VIPs that are in here right now. If you have associates, you can track them down and see what they're doing up there. So that's what we're working on.
So what we want to do now is I'm going to read the offer to, eventually I'm reading it to the 100 people that are looking in the window and to the people who will later see this program on YouTube. And I want you to be aware of the fact that I'm going to read it very slowly. It is like the offer. It only takes a couple of minutes to read it. It's quite easy to read. And when you sit down and you look at it, you can't believe that we're going to give you all these things for free when you join us today. So let me read it to you. And we'll put Diana Lopez's name in there because she's theoretically here. Diana, you say you have finished our silver membership presentation video. Great. And you already know the awesome offer we've got for you if you order in the next 10 minutes. You get the $1,500 bonus offer made in the video. Plus, you can e-blast and website our offer to 90,000 of our subscribers every single month. You get 500 languages and over 1,500 real traffic sources. Also, our monitors will start closing sales for you today without ever charging you anything. And again, I want to stress that. The people call the monitors are clear in the blue boxes, and they're going to close your deals for you. You don't have to close any deals for yourself. You may not like sales, you might not like closing, you might be terrible at it. Doesn't matter. We're good at it. Finally, your commission earnings are from 20%. You can click on the blue link to order. The offer is made to you once and once only. But before you make any decisions, we're going to give you part 2. This is part 2. It's important, Diana, that you place your order within 5 minutes, and we will place 50 members under you immediately. These hot leads are free members just like you. When you upgrade to our silver membership, you get these 50 placed directly under you. Sign them up into your program, or if they upgrade here, you get the commission. Click on the red Order Now button to get started. All services are backed by our ironclad guarantee of support and service. And I want to say what support system is incredible. It's George's invention. He's there. He understands, like Woody Allen, that showing up is 90%. He's there. And folks, I defy you to find another company where you get a live human being who is also knowledgeable. Remember, being alive isn't enough. You actually have to know your craft, as George does backwards and forwards. Then I'm going to go on, because there's more. It's important. Let's go on to the next slide. That would help if I did. This is the third part. If you upgrade to a silver membership now, you also get over 500 landing pages, over 1,500 traffic sources, sales closing 24 hours a day, over 100 training lessons, and very important session. We train you. We don't just dump it on you, like give you a little booklet and say, here, read it. It's not that way at all. 50 members placed under you now. You can email blast to 90,000 per month. You get over 100,000 ad credits. 3 marketing courses on how to generate thousands of leads using Facebook marketing tactics. And remember, you can use these resources to generate leads and traffic for any business. We are here to support you in whatever business you're in. So if you're sitting there floundering because no one's helping you, you're not getting any sign-ups, the solution is looking at right in the eye. And I'm not even finished yet reading the bonus. That continues. Now, you can upgrade to silver membership now, and you can be on your way to earning consistent income today, right now. Your package includes traffic, leads, trusted advertising sources, a comprehensive online training program, plus sales closing systems 24/7, 365. No other company offers you this. Worldprofit's ironclad backing is based on our 20 years in business. Upgrade to silver membership now to receive the offer with all privileges and exclusive freebies. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to this now. It is now 18 minutes until this particular hour of Anything Goes expires. And for the next 18 minutes, I'm going to give anyone, I'm going to double the number of leads they're going to get when you join it now. For the next, so now it's 17 minutes. And those minutes will go away quickly. So if you're a person who finally understands the point. Just that you can't do this alone, and if you try, even Christopher Columbus couldn't have done it alone, even though he had a rebellious crew. At least he had a crew. The bottom line is, we are going to assist you, and I'm going to double the number of leads that you're going to get. George, that is a phenomenal. It's been only 16 minutes. We have almost 100 people looking in the window. We have Diana Lopez, who's here. We have Jean Legui, whom I've talked to in the past, although he can't hear me right this minute. And we'll sit here for a minute or two and see whether anyone has been paying attention, which is always a good idea. If you want to succeed on the internet, the deals don't get any better than this. And again, Diana, we've been waiting for you for over 45 minutes now to say anything whatsoever. Now, I'd like to ask some of the monitors who are here to put a message on the screen for and all the people looking at us. Gives them one reason why now would be a great time to act. And I'm talking about Linda Elze, Michael Harris, Patrice Porter, and even Miss Hunter, even Sandy Hunter, our president, is here. We want to wish her a happy Canadian Thanksgiving. For those of you that don't know Sandy, she is the longest serving female president of any internet company in the world. She is a wizard. Want to know what happened to the Wizard of Oz? We moved to Canada. Bottom line is Sandy Hunter is here with us, and I'd like everybody to just put down a piece of advice, something that you find helpful, and I'm going to read them into the record. Patrice Porter says, Diana, there is no need to be working alone as we work as a team helping each other. And Michael Harris, who's a pastor in Denville, Virginia, says one of the very few legit places to make money online now. And that's true. But we're down to the last few minutes of the offer for today's program. We'll end at the top of the hour. And then we'll be taken by Patrice Porter, White Rabbit. She posited in her various places and on the internet, and people will start accessing it. And they come in every day having read one of these or heard one of these programs.
As if Patrice is out there, just going to check the. I'm just going to Worldprofit Tube here to see if she's loaded the last item in. I have to go to the admin area here. She's loaded anything in there. Or I think yesterday's files. Okay, Patrice, is I'm going to mark off both of these into both. Okay, Patrice, I'm just looking at it right now to make sure that the thing works. Okay, yeah, it looks like they're good, Patrice. If next time you're in there, add, you can change whatever you want. I see it's precious commodity time and AG October 12 sales, which is great. You can change those titles. It's the file name should be what you did, which is just really small, but the title that you put on and the time and everything is whatever you want. I'll try to change them right now. Yeah. Okay. No, your titles are good. Everything's looking great. Fantastic. And Patrice, which was the one that you wanted? That had all of the monitors coming up and everything. Was that the October 12 sales, or was that the other one? Monitors speak out. Yeah, I'm trying to find that one here. Did you reload that one? Yeah, you will need to reload that one. See it in the list. looks like they're loading fine now, Patrice. I don't see any problems with them at all. Everything's looking good. Really good. Yeah, exactly. And the title, again, the title doesn't matter. It's the name of the file on your hard drive. You know, when you get to the point where it says, you know, upload, you click that button and it shows you your hard drive. That's the file. That can't have spaces, characters, or anything. Just make sure it's letters and numbers. That's it. And then it'll load fine. And then when it's finished loading, you can change the title, you know, put the title in as you wish, anything you want, and it will load. I've been loading my boot camps in there, and they're all going in fine.
I'll just take 1 minute
Linda,
this time.
Linda here.
I know that you and Linda are going to be doing a report, especially report tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a video. Yeah, tomorrow at this time, 1 o'clock. Well, it's not 1 now, so 1 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah, it should be good. He's just going to tell people what she does, and I'm not going to say anything. I probably will just sit here like I was for most of this and not really say anything. I'll ask a few questions, but I know what she goes through. It's a very difficult job. It's not easy. I haven't done any promo for 2 days now because I've been, you know, managing the member area and everything. However, I can assure people out there that this is just a job. It's the same job that you probably have been doing for all your life. But yeah, come on in. It'll be in the live meeting center. You know, on the left menu there under, I believe it's our monitor schedule. And you just click on live meeting center. If you want to watch, it will be recorded though, which will be great. People can watch.
And that's going to be in lieu of goes tomorrow, Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Come at the usual time. We'll make an announcement. We're going to refer you to the live meeting room, which you can access on the left-hand side of the page. That's what it'll be very important to listen to the woman who is the top salesperson of the company and consistently wins the monthly sales championship, seemingly effortlessly, but you're going to discover quite the contrary. She follows the system laboriously, and she does what's necessary to win, and she does a result. It's not magic. It's elbow grease. We're coming to the end of today's program. If anybody has a question for George and or me, this would be a great time to ask it. Hoping that the 75 people still in the live business center looking through the window will come down and at least watch the video. Big mistake to just ignore it.
Yeah, you know, I can go through just if all you folks want to know where people are, you know, all the silver members and the platinum members. I won't tell you who. Say we have several people in the CV store. They're looking at, sorry, not CV store, the promo kit, the ClickBank promo kit. Add multiple people in there. Solo email blaster. A couple of people watching the video. A couple of silver members watch a video. I don't know why. They should be in the training area watching that video, but they're not. Prospect manager. Too many people to count. A couple of people are working on their content management. You know, adding and changing their website. A bunch of people are in here right now. Logged in today. Some people, a couple of members are under who's logged in. That's a good place to be. A bunch of people are looking at the ads. The ads they should be sending out under ad examples. That's a thing. Resellers Club. A couple of people are in the offer builder. Lazy Blogger. We have several people in there right now. We have, look at this, one person on the support forum. A bunch of people in the ad tracker. The ad tracker is probably one of the most frequented parts of the member area. We've got Yeah, a couple of people are logging in Lazy Logger, or they're modifying blog posts and adding blog posts to their own blog. Oh, we have somebody doing a traffic injection. We have a person under who's logged in. We have it's hard to see because there's so many. Prospect Manager, several more people in the Prospect Manager. Ad Tracker, big hit. I can't believe how many people are in the Ad Tracker right now. Oh boy, it just really is incredible how many people are in here right now, where they are, and what they're doing. Yeah, this is something. Hey, you know what? I'll give you guys a screen capture of this just to show you guys. Got to see this. It's really cool. Let me see if I can fire that up right now.
And Patrice, while George is firing up that device, I'm going to go down so you can take my place, say your piece. When you're finished, Patrice, I'll come back up. In other words, let George stay on the screen, say his message. You come up in my place now. All right? And George, you know that Patrice comes up and says what she's all about. Just a few minutes.
You bet.
And good day, George, and wonderful seeing you up here, and to all our members and guests here. And it was a wonderful program. I love that story of Christopher Columbus and how it relates to the entrepreneurs here, and you two working the business here, and how if you don't give up and keep persevering, you will find success. And if anybody wants to catch the replay of this program, it will be uploaded later this afternoon to our World Profit Tube at www.worldprofittube.com. And you can catch it on the YouTube channels Patrice Porter, and earlier programs are on the YouTube channel Pat Porter. And if you want to check out my Home Business Central, you can go to www.20waystoprofit.com. And also I've used the tools and resources from World Profit here to build a business helping people create abundance by gardening. And that's at www.gardeningforfoodsecurity.com. And with that, I will say my adieus and let you finish off here, and see you on the next Anything Goes at 1 p.m. Eastern. Well, actually, I'll see you tomorrow on our special presentation with Linda. Bye for now.
That's fine.
And we want to thank Patrice for all that you done. Now, we've still got 3 minutes to fill, so you have time to show the device that you're working on.
Well, I took a picture of just a little tiny piece of my screen here because it's too long, too many people in right now, to give people an idea of our scanning capabilities and what we see going on, where people are doing. It's really, really neat. It's the word given to it is called analytics, and it gives us ideas of what to do, how to reorganization, depending on what people are on. So I share that with you.
And as we get ready to end today's program, we're going to be here tomorrow, as always, at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. But tomorrow's just a treat. Everybody in every company wants to know, or well, actually usually does know, who the leading for salesperson is. But that's about as far as the information goes. We are unique and different in this area as in so many. Thanks to kindness and trust of Linda Elze, who is the top salesperson. She tells you in no uncertain terms what she does. And what she does, as she said so many times before, is she listens to what George Kosch is teaching. She told me at one point that she wanted to be his best pupil, and she succeeded. Because the best pupil makes the most money. But, because you guys think there's some kind of a magic bullet involved in this, Linda's going to talk to George, and we'll be interviewing her in this space tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, in this exactly what she does. It will be recorded. It will be made available after the program. You need to listen to what she has to say, and you need to go beyond listening to what she does. Because if you want to beat her, which should be your goal, you have to do everything she does plus one. Otherwise, you're always going to lose. George, it's going to be an exciting program tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be great. Lots of questions to. Lots of questions and lots of time to hear from someone who's been doing this for such a long time with such success. I think we're all looking forward to that, and it'll be great to be able to put that in the member area under the training link. I'll be able to just send people there that say, I'd be doing everything right. Why isn't this working? And I can say, well, go take a look at this, and maybe that'll point you in the right direction, because that this happens from time to time. We used to have it when I used to fly and teach people to fly. Sometimes would be with them, they just weren't getting it. So you would change teachers. You'd say, I'm going to let their instructor take you up, and maybe they will impart the same information in a different way. And that used to work almost every time. So that'll help me too, because as a good teacher, I think you need to understand that you can't teach everybody. Some people just won't cue into the way you're teaching, and then someone else, you say, you give it a try. And I know this to be true, because I was a student that having a lot of trouble learning from a certain teacher, and he was an excellent instructor, but it was really difficult. I was failing this part of training, and I wasn't getting it. It was actually formation flying, where you fly right next to another jet, and you're moving pretty quick, and the instructor had the goal to say, what, maybe I'm just teaching it to you the right way. Maybe I should step my ego down and say, what, maybe you're going to learn from someone else better. I will step aside and I will accept responsibility for not teaching you properly or the way that you're going to learn. And bingo, I went to another guy just for a few lessons, and it was 100 times. It saved my whole course. He just had a different way of teaching. It was just another way of doing it. He said, no, we're going to skip that. What you were taught was proper, but let's try it a different way. And it worked. It was incredible. So I can tell you for sure that it'll be good to have this video to say, listen, I understand. I don't have answers. I can't teach 100 people 100 things. It's not going to work. I'll send you over to Linda. And that's why the monitors are different too. Anthony has his way of dealing with people, and Dr. Lant and everybody. So it just show you how powerful our platform is, because we have all different ways to teach people things, and that'll work out for some people that maybe save them.
Now, before we terminate today's program, is there anything further you'd like to add?
No, I'm good. I'm going to take off right now and get back to work, and it looks like the member area is coming along really well. Hopefully, I'm going to send out the newsletter in the next 5 minutes to all of the associates. We send only to the latest 100,000 associates. We don't send to all those other, you see we're up there, it's ridiculously high. We don't touch people. If they haven't logged in for 6 months, tough, but if they log in, they log in. There's just too many of them to email. It costs too much money. So we send out to 100,000 people every day. Sometimes I slide it up to 110,000. But as you know, 80%, minimum of 80%, they go to the spam folder, and that's just the way it is. Probably the remaining 20%, 10% of them get the email, but they are blocked. They're using useless providers like Yahoo and Hotmail and all that. The lucky ones are the Google people. They're the ones that use Gmail. They get the newsletter. So, if you're thinking how many people get our newsletter and things like that, well, it's probably sent, sadly. However, we do have paid methods that can get through to them, and we always send them little warnings and say, listen, you're not getting anything we're saying. Log in, make a change, and then we go from there. So I'm going to sign that. Looking forward to tomorrow. Be nice to see everybody, and see you, Linda, too.
Hey, we've been lucky to have with us George Kosch, Director of Technical, co-founder of WorldProfit. He and Linda Elze, our top salesperson, are doing a very, very special program tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern in this space. 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. And to end today's program, I remind you of the immortal words of Cole Porter. In olden days, a glimpse of stocking was looked upon as something shocking, but now, God knows, anything goes. We'll see you all tomorrow. Make it a real point to attend. You're going to learn information that will be crucial in helping you make money on the internet. Thanks, everybody, and see you tomorrow.